Hey there, boys and girls. Welcome to this week's episode of Hollow Weekly. Nick and Trevor here with Wrong Turn 4, Bloody Beginnings.
May I have your attention, please?
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
I don't know what real anymore.
Horror. Something even more terrible than you.
So,
Yep.
For those of you who don't know, let me get my handy dandy Google
We just watched it. so
breakdown. Yeah, we are all
fresh-
dude.
fresh off.
Look at how small that description is for the movie. That's about a sentence and a half.
Yeah,
So if you're not familiar with Wrong Turn, in particular Wrong Turn 4 Bloody Beginnings, a group of snowmobiling friends find shelter from a blizzard in an abandoned building, but discover that they are not the only ones inside.
it's a prequel. Prequel.
They had it begins with like 1970s. You can flip a coin on whether or not this franchise is going to open up with 1876, 1840. Like they always hike it back a couple years before they jump into
Cut
into
to
the
present
movie.
movies. Yeah.
So let me recap how we got here. So if this is the first episode you're listening to Wrong Turn the Wrong Way,
You're listening to us the wrong way.
you're listening. You're listening
You're listening to us.
You're listening to us the wrong way. Watching the Wrong Turn franchise going backwards. We started with the 2021 remake, Wrong Turn. Then we went to Wrong Turn 6, or was it 7? Oh my goodness, there's been so many of them. Hold on, let me pull up my list here.
I think it's Last Resort.
Oh, that was the.
I think the 7th was the newest one.
Hold on, I'm gonna do them good here. Okay, so we have. Okay, so it's Wrong Turn, the 2021, just the complete. What's up? We're bringing it back. Then it goes Wrong Turn 6, Last Resort.
Yes.
Then we go Wrong Turn 5, Bloodlines,
Knowledge.
which then brings us to Wrong Turn 4, Bloody Beginnings.
Yes.
Yes. So we just finished the movie.
Yeah, we did.
With the idea of watching it backwards being that most slasher or horror franchises, they start out usually pretty gold. You get lucky with the second one if it's any good. Sometimes the third one, like a Dream Warriors, ends up being a real big hit, and maybe you're doing good. And by the fourth one, it's usually pretty downhill.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get, I feel like Friday the 13th got lucky with Jason Lives and Jason X, so they have a few, a few dingers in there.
I
But
think every other one of those, aren't they? Isn't that every other one?
is that how it goes with the Friday franchise?
I think so.
I've never thought of it like that.
I think it might be like the Star Treks.
Oh yeah.
Star Trek. Every even one's pretty good.
So with this, the idea was we'll be moonwalking into greatness.
Yes.
It'll be, we know we're gonna start with some doo-doo. Maybe not so much with the remake because that's a coin toss because they made it like last year and well, maybe it could be good. But if you want to know how we felt, we have a whole episode on that one. Do you think that 4 has continued to get better or worse?
I think they're getting worse.
It's
working backwards.
Yeah.
It's so weird. They should be getting better or like something. But this one was like, I don't know if I have anything much good to say about it. Like, I always try, but like it's like I don't know.
This
one was.
It's interesting you said because the remake was what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't great, but like it wasn't terrible. If they had just named it something else, it would have been fine. Last Resort was just completely low budget sci-fi channel original bonkers.
Yeah.
And I just remember us clowning about it being filmed in, what was it, Romania or
Bulgaria.
Bulgaria and Bulgaria. I'll be honest, I had a pretty decent time with number 5, Bloodlines. It was
Compared to this one,
that one was a lot funner in my opinion. Like, it had the some ridiculous. I mean, all of them so far have been pretty ridiculous when it comes to like dialogue and like an actual story.
Yeah.
But like that little set. That they had to be a small town.
Yeah.
It was really fun to be there.
Yeah.
I do want to know, how did you feel about the setting in this one? So this was the snow. I feel like at some point in every franchise or in the trilogy, like we were comparing this, saying this was going to be his empire.
Yeah, because this guy made 3 of them, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So we assumed that this was going to be like his empire, and because the last one was like his.
Is it Declan O'Brien?
Yeah, Declan O'Brien.
Yeah, Declan O'Brien. Yeah.
R.I.P. He's dead, but like.
We're not talking ill about him.
We're
talking about his movie.
We're talking about his ill about his movies. Sorry. But yeah, it starts out in the snow, which is interesting because all the other wrong turns are always in like the summertime. It seems like.
Yeah, everyone's sweating. Which
is fine, but then you put him in just like an abandoned, sanatorium, and that's it. Like that's
the most
It's pretty like basic. Yeah, I mean they didn't even try.
It was the most well kept building.
Oh yeah,
that had no power in it for like 30 years.
Yeah, because it starts out in the 70s. That's when they escape.
Mm-hmm.
And then this I guess this is like cut to like whenever it was made, 2011. I guess.
Yeah, 2011.
Because they had phones, cell phones, and emo haircuts and stuff like that. So it was present. But it was a World Cup. They slept in the beds, which was gross.
Yeah, and like there's a few TikTokers or like TikToks I'll get of them like going to like an abandoned mall or an abandoned building, and it's usually them like talking about like how like scary it is and how like there's like protocols. It's like a whole like culture. Like they have like the tells that they have when they go into a building if they should get the fuck out or not. But it's usually like a building that was abandoned from like 10, 15 years, and like the paint's peeling, everything's rusty, everything looks nasty, there's trash everywhere. This place, the beds were clean enough for them to just hop right in and sleep. To escape the blizzard.
They didn't even try like to explain like, oh, this is dirty, this place is dirty. Nope.
No, they were.
I mean, the only thing was like the office. Every time they went into a room, all of the paintings were like tilted.
Yeah,
and the one lamp was knocked over, so they're like, "Oh, this place is trash."
A couple drawers were open.
Well, I was kind of like, "Well,
could be a lot. Should be a lot worse."
Yeah, it's like these 3 hobos have been living here for like 20 years. I think it should be like shit everywhere, like shit in the like human shit in the corners or something. Like I don't know.
Yeah, and it's
blood everywhere, and
what you just reminded me is because we really, I mean, now we have 3 other movies to pull from. I still keep going back to the first one and how like they have their one shed.
Yes.
It's like that's not a shed. It's like their home.
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden like they're living in like some big
mansion.
Yeah, they got this big the sanatorium.
Yeah.
And then they have like a hotel.
Yeah.
Because I think those are 2 different buildings from the movies. Like they're not like, hey, this was like a former place where we kept the insane people. Like they're 2. They live apparently next to these huge, gigantic structures, so they don't have to live in like this little shanty shed with no explanation.
But they still dress like hillbillies. Like I don't understand.
Yeah, so I keep pulling from the first one and being like, because we keep talking about there is detective work that we have to do, going backwards. We have to see what we can piece together. So far, I don't think we've been able to really. There's been no puzzle pieces to put together. They're so their own movie that they almost willfully neglect like any sort of timeline.
Yeah, I mean they treat the wrong turn hillbillies as if they're like Jason or Freddy, and they just aren't.
Right.
Yeah, I mean I'm not sure why the wrong turn killers never took off in that way, but they just don't. And
well, I can tell you why, and it's something I brought up during the movie. Okay, so throughout the Nightmare franchise, you have Freddy. You know what you're gonna get. He's gonna be Robert Englund in a sweater hat, scar, all across his face, and a glove. Jason, you're gonna get some sort of, even though it changes. The first one's not even him. Then you got Potato Sack Jason, and then so on. But like, there's a rhythm there.
Yeah.
The only person in Wrong Turn I can ever remember is the one with like the strangly white hair and the big forehead. Like I always know
who laughs.
Yeah, who laughs a lot. Like I know
3 fingers is what they call him.
3 fingers. Okay.
Yeah, that's what that was called.
I understand that he's going to be there in some variation. He looks very, very different from what I remember in the first one, and he looks very, very different in every single other movie we watch. There's no like sense of like they're just so different every movie.
Yeah.
That's why you can't put it together. Even someone like like a Victor Crowley or Jigsaw or something like that. Like there's some consistency there.
Yeah.
There's none in this movie when it comes to like how they look.
No.
Except for that first one. I know we're gonna sort of get some long goofy white hair, but then the other two, put a gun to my head, tell me what they look like. I don't know, dude.
No.
They're so different.
Like the one that kind of has droopy eyes, he might have one eye missing, and the other guy might have bad teeth, or sharpened teeth.
Yeah,
but you never see him because he's just like moppy heads. Like they just look like masks.
They definitely looked a little bit, maybe I want to say better this one.
Man.
A little bit, mostly because what you saw was a lot of them as like youngins. So,
I think the young kids look not too bad.
Yes, I don't think they didn't look that bad at all.
Yeah. But the one is surprisingly big now. But I don't remember the one guy being so large.
That's
like
exactly. So it's right now. Even having just watched the movie, trying to describe what the monsters of the film look like, it's not a very easy thing to do.
No, because the other two don't really have distinguishable traits.
And I felt like in the first one they did. I felt like in the first one, like I could visually, in an instant, tell who that person was. What kind of danger they're about to bring to me. But in this one, it's just they're all just crazy mutant inbred people.
Yeah.
Who they did give a little more backstory in this one as to like why they're able to do the things they do. They weren't as Looney Tunes this week. In previous episodes, we've been comparing them to how Looney Tunes they are. Yeah. But in this one, they're, I don't know, they're still silly. They're not that scary.
I don't think they are. Not in this one. No, because I don't know. It's just like nothing makes any sense to what they do and how they do it. There's no pathos to them.
Right.
It's just kind of like just at the whims of whoever's making the movies.
Right.
It's kind of like there's nothing to them, so it's not scary. It's a simple fix probably, but like
the information they gave in the beginning of the film. That's
yes.
what I was going to say. They it's the first time. Because in the first one, they're just like really good at shooting a bow and arrow, and they seem
they're
pretty
just like backwards.
They just seem strong. Like if you're out there chopping wood all day, like you're gonna be strong as a motherfucker.
Yeah.
But in this one, they hint that because of all of the inbreeding, that something happens to where they just don't feel pain.
And they're smart.
That part they didn't really.
I know that's all the inbreeding made them smart and impervious to pain.
Yeah,
is that how that works?
I don't know.
Is that how,
the pain thing I can buy. Like, your genetics are completely haywire.
So fucked up.
Pain is probably not the worst, but like smart.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, they were making like flesh fondue. It's like they're not the smartest.
That's though them pairing the bit of flesh with the onion. That was maybe they do have some culinary, maybe shit that we don't know.
A little Frasier in them.
Actually, when she said they were smart, I was waiting for them to bust out like a Shakespeare monologue and be like, "Oh, okay." Wow.
I thought they'd start speaking. Like I was like, "Oh, wait, they're gonna speak this time."
Oh yeah, no, not a lick.
I guess not.
No. No. So I did take some notes. And I actually started, if you're listening to the podcast, follow us on Instagram. I like to do like some Insta stories while we're watching the movie, kind of like what I do when we live tweet The Last Drive-In. Just because it's kind of fun to like document it as like weird shit happens. You're like, am I the only one seeing this? Am I the only one seeing this? So one of the notes I wrote was in the beginning of the movie, there's a flashback to like 1974. They're in the insane. What's it called? The
sanatorium.
The sanatorium. Okay, I want to call it the right thing. The sanatorium, and
sanitarium, because they explained it.
Yeah, there's a
sanitarium
difference.
Is one thing. It's sanatorium.
So we cut there. They're walking down, inmate row, and you see just everyone off their, off the rock, no marbles, and one of the inmates grabs a woman by the hair.
Yes.
And then afterwards, the doctor goes, "Oh yeah, don't go past that yellow line." And that is a trend that we've noticed in this franchise. Even going back to the 2021 remake, The one consistent thing, if it's not the monsters, it's that this franchise always has somebody withholding very crucial information.
Yes.
Every movie.
Yes. Everybody has information that they really don't want to give you until it's too late.
And it's life or death.
Yeah, it's always like life or death situations. Like, yeah, you probably shouldn't stand too close to the prisoners.
Yeah, it's not like
Thanks.
information where it's like, hey, you want to save 5 minutes on the drive, go this way. It's like, do you want to see tomorrow? Like that level of information.
Oh, I should have told you these yellow lines on the floor. Important.
Very, very important. That's something you say before you walk into the room. Oh,
yeah.
By the way, they're very handsy in here.
Yes. As you can see, them all have their hands sticking out of their. I was like, I think
they're doing like the come to the little kid like come to me thing. Oh, they just don't feel pain. They started giving us a little backstory. In fact, the way they described it was how little pain they feel was that one of them was grinding their teeth on the wall, which I thought was pretty. I thought that was a great visual of like the kind of weird shit they're doing. I kind of like that.
I wish we would have seen it. They explained a lot of that stuff. It's like, oh, we don't get to see any of this stuff because that would have been.
It's funny you say that. When they eventually get free, so when they grab the woman's hair, the inmate grabs like a pin in her hair, and then he tosses it to the inbred mutants, and then they escape. I thought when they were free, they were going to cut to him like sharpening his teeth or something like that, because that's a very intense, nasty visual to sharpen your teeth on a wall.
Kind of gives you like chills.
Yeah. Even saying it, like my front teeth kind of hurts. Thinking about it a little bit. So I was like, that'd be kind of a gnarly visual to get, but we don't get it.
Nope.
We don't get it. You know what we do get though? And I will give this thing. So I don't want to dog on the movie the whole time because that's no fun, right? Like there are some cool things in there, and this movie did do something right that the other ones haven't done, and it's given us a group of characters who legitimately make a wrong turn.
They sure do.
And as much as I want to say I enjoyed the last film more than this film did at least more right.
Yeah. Serving
the title.
Yes, it did.
Yeah,
they made a wrong turn looking for a cabin or something. And then this is the best part, though.
Gosh.
They're driving through the snow, and it's like, oh, no, we're late. I mean, it's getting late. It's snowing. Like, we're going to freeze to death out here. And the one lady, looks off to the side. Is like, what is that off in the distance? And it's a giant building, the sanatorium. They're like, what is that over there? We can't make out. And it's just, plain as day. I'm like, oh, good thing we found this thing. I was like, how did you, drive past it?
And isn't there, another house, too, that they see, I could have sworn there was 2 locations at least.
They were looking for one.
But yeah, so they
they found the sanatorium.
We need shelter. Is that a gigantic
what is that over there?
100,000 square foot institution?
It was off in the distance, plain as day, and there was I can't quite tell. Maybe it's shelter. I was like, it's a mansion. What are you talking about?
You can't visit. There's no snow in that building.
It's a legit hospital.
No, we were laughing though when so they go out there. They're on their little snowmobiles. It gets dark, like you just said. They find the building, and when they go in, it's not like hey, this is a temporary thing. Keep all of our shit together here. They really make themselves at home. They're taking their coats off.
They have 4 changes of clothes, which I guess they were bringing stuff for the cabin, but it's all like summer wear.
It looks like a sale at Old Navy before school starts. Yes. Everyone just had all the clothes look kind of similar but in different colors.
You just grab one of each color. Say have 5 for the week.
They're keep the tags on them.
Keep tags. We'll take them back.
When we're done. We were joking that this one should be called a Wrong Turn 5 Squatters' Rights because they just immediately just start stretching their legs out.
Yeah, just frying up some hot dogs, I guess, that they found, right?
Oh, yeah, that was a big thing. They had some weenies. And then the guys in this movie were just ridiculous. They were making a woman should cook the weenies jokes. Yeah. But one of them was a lesbian, and he looks at him and goes, "You don't like weenies.
You don't like hot dogs.
You don't like hot dogs.
But you don't like hot dogs, do you?" I was like, "What's?"
What? I was like, "Are you 5? Why are we talking about our penises as hot dogs?"
I know we kept saying it's this was written by somebody who's never had sex, never done anything.
Or part. Well, it's written by this guy. We hate to talk ill.
This poor guy, but
I'm sorry.
Dang.
And Party too. Like that was the other thing that we were talking about that never feels real in horror films. And Grant, I know this is a B movie. I understand that, but whenever movies are like, "Hey, let's go get wild and have a party," they're always doing like the most random shit. That
I don't know if you turn like music on and just start dancing with each other. I don't know. Like I've never been to a party where that's happened, and maybe that's my crowd.
Are we not getting invited to the right parties? Could we be dancing in wheelchairs and playing ping pong?
I mean, I guess maybe we're not cool enough for those types of parties.
I think you're right about that.
But yeah, every time it's always like, let's hang out, let's party. And it's like them just giggling together. I was like, I've never seen like a group of friends giggle and kind of like go woohoo to each other.
Yeah,
like just doing nothing.
We had upstairs neighbors that were woohooers.
Okay.
I think they were part of like an amateur baseball team, so they would like go play and come back and get drunk, and you're like, woo! And I was like, people fucking woo?
I guess, I mean, that would make more sense.
I didn't know that.
I mean, that would make more sense too if like this group was like some sort of team.
Yeah,
but like these are just like the randomest people together.
And one of we were
the most random,
and a couple of them look like they're 45, 50-year-olds hanging out with like
the 20
the 20 years. There's this one guy who just looks like, what's the West Side Story?
He's like a greaser.
Yeah, he looks like a greaser. Like he's about ready to just like start combing his hair, like fixing a car, and he's singing like he's in Grease.
Bust that switchblade.
And it's just so, I couldn't put my finger on it. Like when they showed him on screen with his like he's also a short king. No, nothing bad about him, but he's a short king with his very tall girlfriend who. How did she die? Did she just freeze in the woods?
She just froze,
that was her at the end.
She went for help because she knew the way, but she didn't.
She wasn't very.
I was confused by
she made another wrong turn.
Yeah, she made the right turn because she's right by the highway.
I will say, so this movie had a lot more cheesiness in it. I think it'd be really fun as like a group watch. Like if you want to have a bunch of friends over to watch like a B movie like this, this one out of the franchise, I think would be it. The one thing that you can count on is that every close-up is followed by like the most cheesy line ever. Like there's one line in there that I thought didn't really make any sense. When they're out exploring, they go into the doctor's office and they find a liquor bottle and they're like, oh, he must have been a boozer. And the guy like pulls off the cap, takes a sip, and he goes, oh, it's smooth. And he hands it to his friend. He goes, pussy. And I was like, he said it was smooth. Like that's a good thing with whiskey, man. Like, or any drink, really.
He didn't like gag or anything. He was just.
He gave it like that's what he would put in the advertisement for liquor. Like it's smooth.
Yeah.
It didn't even just follow with pussy. Like what? The dynamic of friends wasn't really there.
I couldn't tell you what their common.
The common theme was it was probably fucking, because this movie, in typical wrong turn fashion, you I think it's 11 minutes in, you get to your first. Actually, it's 2 sex scenes in one. This one they actually double up on it, so it's 2 at the same time.
2 people having sex right next to each other, basically.
Yeah, like they could just high five and.
Yeah, but the one lady walks in on them because why would you lock the door when you're all having sex?
Right.
And she calls them slut monkeys.
Slut monkeys. Yeah.
Slut monkeys. I couldn't tell you what her anything about her. She was just like
none of them were
moral compass of the group because she was like the one who was kind of prudish.
Yeah.
And wanted like not to kill them when they caught they catch the hillbillies at one point. Everybody else is like burn them. We're like yeah, burn them. Mm-hmm. And she's like no, we can't.
We're not like them.
That makes it just like us. I was like fuck that.
Like dude, they ate your friend's left pectoral muscle, right bicep.
They had fucking fondue out of that dude. Like
they ate him with onion.
They made like a 4-course meal.
If there's any scenario where you could burn some people alive, this is it.
I think the cops will go easy on you.
Yeah, they'll forgive you. Like when they search their stomachs, it will be your friend.
Yeah, like Jaws with the boot.
Yeah, it'll be your 57-year-old greaser friend.
Yes,
who hung out with you for some reason.
Yes. Ex-Stray Cats drummer.
That's hilarious. Okay, so I do have a couple of things that I wanted to talk about the fondue scene being one of them.
That was actually a good scene because that's like it was like they're making fondue. That's kind of funny.
Yes, and the gore wasn't bad. So I want to talk about some.
But it took him 20 minutes to go find that dude.
Oh my. Okay. So what I want to hop into now is I want to hop into some of the specific kill set pieces because I think that is how I kind of look at the Wrong Turn franchise now. It's based on how weird because every time those Looney Tunes get together, they're gonna kill someone in a weird way.
Yes.
Sticking with the fondue scene. The gore was pretty great. It was cheesy, but like anytime you see someone like getting their like pectoral cut out, like it
dipped.
Yeah, and dipped, it's gonna win. But you brought up the funniest thing about that. So just to paint the picture, they know their friend is missing.
Oh yeah.
He was supposed to be following behind. So 3 of them stayed in the room. 3 of them went out to go do whatever.
Yeah.
And 2 of them come back, and they don't realize that the third guy, the greaser, got snatched like 5 minutes ago. And then they go inside the room. They go, hold on 1 second, and then they look back out the door.
And they go, Daniel, he's not there.
He's not. Where did he go? Where did he go? And then they start hearing him scream.
Yeah.
And it's not just like, oh, I hurt myself. It is like a, ah! Like,
please God, kill me.
Like, yeah, just let me die. Just let me die. Like, he is getting eaten alive.
Yeah.
And one of the friends has the audacity to be like, it could be a trap. I don't want to go.
Yes.
And you're like, what? Like, of all the time to like pump the brakes, this is like you guys need to be on the offensive right now. There's no time to discuss. So their friend's getting, he's a fish fillet.
Yeah.
Right. He's screaming. Throw up there, and then they have to pump the brakes to take a vote.
Oh yeah.
They need to take a vote as to what they're gonna do. So they're just furthering this man becoming, sashimi.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And the vote takes like, I don't know, 3 minutes. Like I think there's 2 more pieces of him missing by the time the vote's done.
Like
and by they start working on the thigh. They're starting to get some of that dark meat.
I think they got like an upper arm.
and they do the vote, and she just gets blasted. It's like, I think it's like 4-1.
Well, she's like, well, that's a different one too. At one point, it's like it switches at some point. So the one was like, oh, it could be a trap. Now she's like, oh, we gotta go. And the other lady's like, wait, you just said we shouldn't go. He's like, well, that's why I thought it was a trap. That's really him screaming. I'm like what?
Oh my god.
Then the one lady's like, I'm not going anywhere. Let's have a vote. And they're all just like, they all think about it for a bit. They cut back to
and in the background, oh my god, please stop eating me.
You see another piece come off, and then you see them go back to them and be like, all right, let's vote then. The vote takes forever, and then they got to pass out the weapons, which cut back.
Oh my god! Yeah,
another thing is like, what are we doing?
They're like signing in for the weapons. They're like, make sure you sign here,
Yes.
and can we get a photo? We need to take as much time as possible.
There's a bunch of paperwork.
I
don't understand.
I want our friend to look like a picked over rotisserie chicken by the time we get to him.
By the time we get to him, he's dead.
Oh, he gives up. He pleads for death like several times.
It's like them running into like a room and he's already dead. Going, ah! What? Everybody's already killed.
And so even before that, instead of all of them running together, they all wait on the stairs and they send one friend in to make sure that he's in there getting like eaten alive.
Yes.
And then he reports back. They are really. These people feel like they have government jobs. Like they are doing everything as slowly as possible before they can do anything.
Almost like by the book somehow. Almost.
Yeah.
Like, we all can't go. One guy go ahead. Check it out.
It's like this is a union.
Yeah, we're gonna stand here on the steps and just listen to the guy scream. You come back, tell us what's going on there. And he's like, they're fucking making him out of fondue. Let's go. And they're like, wait a second.
Wait, type that out. Type that out. We need to file it under a report.
Again, there's another wait. You go this way. We'll go this way. When we come through, I was like, he's still screaming.
He's like, where are my friends? Where are my friends?
And then they go screaming in there, and like,
as they go screaming in there, that's when he takes his like final breath. Like he looks at the camera, he's like, "Oh, fuck, I'm free."
About time.
Oh, is that you guys?
It's the funniest reactions is the one, like the one hero guy sneaks up behind him with a fire extinguisher. And the one guy has a piece. No, he starts gagging on a piece of finger.
Yeah.
So there's like this weird part where the hillbilly is gagging on the finger, and the other guys are just like slapping on the back. I'm like, what is this comedy bit?
Yeah, it's like a Stooges right in the middle.
And he turns around and like the one guy like hits him with the fire extinguisher, he kind of like shuffles off, going like, kind of like runs off. I'm like, what was that kind of reaction?
Yeah,
like,
he
like it's so funny.
the one thing you're gonna like you can guarantee in this movie is that you're gonna get some Looney Tunes shit, like him popping up behind him like it was a reversal Looney Tunes.
Yeah,
Usually it's them,
yeah.
but then he turned up. He was Bugs Bunny with like the iron smacking them. You're gonna get some Looney Tunes shit, and nobody's gonna make a wrong turn.
Yeah.
And somebody's gonna choke on someone. I did like the fact when they smacked the thumb out, it landed back into the ball, and they kind of looked at him like, nice shot. Nice shot. So that scene was a very big kill piece. The one the movie starts with, they do two sort of being strung up by barbed wire deaths.
Yeah.
Which I feel like they did in they're always throwing something around someone's neck in the Wrong Turn.
I think so.
In the Wrong Turn films. What did you think of the first one where they tie barbed wire around both feet, both legs, and both arms?
Yeah, it was like Saw style, like almost.
It did feel very Saw style.
It was all right. It was all right.
Yeah, the effects in it were, I mean, they for a low budget movie though.
Yeah.
For a low budget movie, I do think that they looked pretty good. You could tell that like he was being hung by something in the middle, because like so they're starting to pull off one of the legs and then one of the arms, and I thought like when he's only hanging by one limb, his whole body's gonna start swinging like a pendulum, but then it doesn't. It just kind of like floats there, and then the other limb immediately falls off, and he falls to the ground.
All of them fall off, and then he just like flops.
Yeah, so they needed to. You can see how like they logically like filmed it. Like, okay, we don't have that A24 money where we can do some gross Ari Aster shit.
No,
so we still gotta make it count. The second similar kill set piece, which I think I liked. Actually kind of like this scene, was when all the friends are exploring.
Yes.
The main boyfriend's dead. They go into like what looks like an auditorium.
Yeah.
The hillbillies somehow, I didn't even think about how they would pull this off. They're walking in, and a head comes flying from the other direction, and it's
best not to think about it.
Yeah, and it's a body part of one of the friends, and then they start to back up like, oh my god, what is that? And then a razor or barbed wire razor noose comes down and then picks up one of the ladies.
Yeah.
So maybe two of them were there, one of them were there.
Yeah.
You got 3 mutants to choose from, so I'm sure they could, cover the distance or whatever. But then they basically just hang her with this barbed wire, and her boyfriend's like grabbing her feet, like trying to pull her down, even though there's like razors and blades all up on her neck, like he didn't think that through. But it felt like a very I don't know, Evil Dead kind of moment with the amount of blood. Like it is like there's 2 scenes with like comic level blood, but the boyfriend's just getting drenched and she's hanging there for like a good minute.
And he's just screaming as the blood just like pours into his mouth.
Yeah, that it feels very Evil Dead.
Yeah.
That
and everybody else just stood around.
Yeah, and they're just looking in disbelief,
like screaming.
Like no one's like trying to like hold her feet up so she's not like.
They're trying to think of anything. I think they all run for the door too.
This is ridiculous. Yeah, they take off and. The body decapitates and she lands facing, eyes locked with her old boyfriend. And it doesn't. I actually like. I wish that these later Wrong Turn movies had really just kind of leaned in to like how silly they are.
Yeah.
A little bit like if they had kept that tone
Yeah.
throughout the whole movie, I think it could be a way better movie. But instead, it has to be interlocked with like the real serious monologues that are
Yes.
kind of lousy.
Yeah.
With the cheesy stuff, because those moments are done so well.
Yeah.
But I love when the head, decapitates from the body, and they lock eyes because it's a shot of her looking into the camera with her eyes real big, then a shot of him covered in her blood with his eyes real big, and then he goes to run and he's like slipping on the blood.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good scene.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good scene overall, I thought.
Yeah, it was a good shot for once.
And so the movie wasn't completely due, which is weird.
No.
Which is weird because I still want to. I'm hoping we're able to uncover why. Like, I do think I enjoyed this one the least, but it had, I think, some of the more solid, promising stuff in it that we've seen so far in the franchise.
I think the characters were just really off the charts, stupid.
Oh,
they did a lot of stuff where it's like they're all together, and then all of a sudden one person has to go do some shit, or like it was like It was some of like the worst decision making I've ever seen.
Yes.
Like in a movie, it's like they kind of like takes out the kind of fun. Unless they were all just like it. Like I feel like if you played it as if they were dumb, that'd be one thing.
Right.
But like supposedly like smart enough, and they're not.
Oh yeah, because there's the one guy who gets the spike in the head.
Yeah.
They talk about how, fucking, and he's like, it's the one thing I'm good at. And I'm like, man,
yeah.
any guy that tells you he's good at fucking lie. straight up. If they're bragging about it, they're lying about it. There's no way. So it was just full of a lot of like weird shit like that. There's a part at the end where we're down to 3 women left, and they basically all they gotta do is just take off.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the clear. Right, I mean they got to survive the elements, but it's better than being hunted down.
Yes,
and they have cleared some distance. I mean, they're probably running for 2-3 minutes.
Yes,
one of them decides, oh wait, I left the fire poker back there. I got to go get it. And her excuse is like, we got to defend ourselves. Yeah. Like, you're not in the attack mode anymore.
No,
this is defensive, sister. Yeah. We got to run. Yes. we got to get the fuck out of here. Yeah. It's moments like that. So then, she goes back, and then again they're split up again. More bad shit happens, but it's like littered throughout the movie.
Yeah, every time they are in the clear, somebody messes up just so the movie can continue.
You had a quote that I wrote down. It was friend choices, wrong choices. Am I right? Wrong choices. Am I right? Because that's all the movie is just these people making which honestly goes more in hand. At least they're kind of in the ballpark of wrong something. They're at 50%.
They did make a wrong turn at the beginning.
They did make a wrong turn at the beginning. They keep making wrong, even more wrong decisions. It's more obviously they made wrong decisions in the other film, the last film, but this one felt more deliberate.
Yes,
like the last one, they were like, "Let's try this. I think will work." These were just like batshit crazy. Like, why on earth?
Yes.
Would you ever try that?
Yeah.
I did see what I thought was an homage to a couple films in this movie. There's a big screw like chainsaw looking thing that felt very much like a Slumber Party Massacre.
Yes.
We mentioned all the blood that felt like a very Evil Dead moment, but there was 2 in there that I wrote down that I thought were quite interesting, and one of them comes from a scene from both Texas Chainsaw. One is Texas Chainsaw Massacre's the original, and then one is Texas Chainsaw 2. Mm-hmm. The first one being when the cocky boy who's just so good at making love gets killed. He gets a spike in the head and then dragged off, and it reminded me of them trying to do their first kill in Texas Chainsaw Massacre with the hammer where Leatherface smacks the guy, and he's freaking out, and then he slams the door. It felt like they were trying to do something like that. And when we were watching, I just thought, like, God damn, Tobe Hooper, man. Like, he did it with, like, I mean, granted, this movie had $1 million. I don't know how that translates to 70s. Like how much, I'm sure it's probably somewhere similar, I'm guessing. But they certainly didn't have, the cameras that they were shooting with today. Like, they were shooting on film. Like, that shit counted. Maybe they were shooting on film on this one. I'm not actually sure. I don't want to make that.
I don't think so.
It had a very digital sci-fi channel look to it. So that's why I made the assumption. But if I'm wrong, I'll take that.
Yeah. Come as.
But like, it felt like that was sort of their homage to that scene. But seeing how they executed it versus someone, and I get that it's a super unfair comparison to compare it to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's a masterpiece. Yeah. But it's interesting to see the 2 side by side and why one works so well and why one doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, I always go back to like the way it looks. Mm-hmm. The cinematography is like it's so. The last 3 or 4 movies have been so brightly lit.
Right.
Like there's no shadows whatsoever. It's like it's just you can see everything and nothing is really scary. And that's why like the effects I think would be better too. Because I remember the first one being pretty dark.
Right.
Because it takes place at night in the forest, so it's scarier. So you can't see everything.
Right.
And you can hide a lot of stuff in the darkness, as I mean, effects wise, they tell you.
And I always felt like that was one of the first tricks up a horror director's sleeve is to just make it dark.
Yeah.
hide the effects, make it dark.
Mm-hmm.
It'll look better.
Shoot in a certain way, type of thing, and like it doesn't seem like this guy really has like thought about that.
And I wonder why they did that. I wonder if it was just a budget thing or
I don't know, because it's easy enough to like fix that shit in post.
Right.
But they probably just like, well, it looks good because you can see everything. Like, you know, it's stuff like that instead of being like, well, maybe you shouldn't be able to see everything.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we have this camera, we need to see everything. And there's a lot of shitty filmmakers out there who like shitty producers are just like, this is how this movie should look, and they don't know anything about that type of stuff.
There's usually some
there's weird like choices made behind the scenes, yeah. like script wise as well. You're just like, I don't know how you would do this, but I mean, this type of movie is good to watch for what not to do, like the kind of thing, and it'll also be like the entire time going, well, how would I write this?
Yeah,
it's a good thing to like watch bad movies too, just to be like, how would I write this better? How would this be like
how would you do that scene from Texas Chainsaw
Yeah, be like,
Massacre?
oh, I would do it this way, or I wouldn't have them do this, I would do this. And like it's a fun exercise to be like,
I feel
to
like
kind of think about those types of choices in there and be like, and sometimes it feels nice to be like, I wouldn't do it that way, and I think I would be right. It's like I was like, okay, I'm not that bad, type of thing.
That's a really cool exercise to think about. Like, what would you do? I feel like one of the things that Wrong Turn does is, and I feel like a lot of B movies did this. Like, I was just thinking about like in middle school when we would rent movies like Zombies versus Vampires or Chupacabra Terrors, like really shitty B movies. They usually just fill it wall to wall with music.
Yeah.
They never really give these movies like a second to breathe and to like try to be its own thing.
Yeah, the dialogue needs to be like cut by 50% in these movies too. Like you gotta just like cut it down.
Right.
Like you can't be talking as much as they do.
And it's a lot of nonsense.
Yeah, it's all, yeah, when you think about it, it's like, what are they talking about? It doesn't matter.
Like one person, they're packing clothes, hands it to another person. She goes, "Thank you." But it wasn't like you know, it's like doing laundry with your part, like with your part. You know, if you're like, you know, putting some clothes away, you're not like, "Thank you." Like, you know, it's just you're just in your zone, and it just.
By the way, I won't be surprised if that line wasn't written.
Right.
I swear that line had to be written.
Yeah, like somebody.
It wasn't just like off the cuff. It was probably just like, no, it was in the script as "thank you."
yeah. It's so like you could. That's an interesting way to look at it, though. Like you could cut 50% of the dialogue. You could cut half the lighting.
Yeah.
And I think that would boost a movie like this quite a bit.
Yeah,
right?
it's like simple stuff like that you think about it, then you're like, why didn't they do that? And it's just like, well, I mean, some people don't. Like some people were just shitty writers and somehow get to do. I mean, it's like there's shitty writers who connect with shitty producers, and that's how you get shitty movies. Sometimes. Or like stuff like that. It's like, and like as much as I can say, oh, I'm a better writer than that. Like nobody's giving me money for it, so it's like, well, I mean,
right?
I can just like Monday morning quarterback it all day. But
they went out there and they got the shit
they got it
done.
done. So, but also you can be like, well, I would do it this way, and
that's why I think it's good to watch both.
Yeah,
watch both of these.
So, yeah. Always watch. Yeah, it's like you shouldn't just watch good movies.
We watched a lot of bad ones with How Low Can We Go, but we also that's not true. We actually caught a lot of good movies. I don't know why I said that. Like the first movie that I always think of is from oh my god, I hate when I have it. And I'm gonna say it. It's the Linda Blair one where they're in the haunted house. Hell Night.
I've never seen that one. No.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a great one. You just experienced a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of those types of movies that are like low budget and kind of quote unquote bad, but they're really good too. Like they don't talk. It's like you find things good with it, and you're like, oh wait, they're not really talking a lot. They're doing a lot of just more action and more just like doing stuff.
And in the case of like this one, like. When I say this is a good movie, I think it's I don't know. It's weird. I still don't know what I mean by it did a lot of things right, but I thought it was the most boring one. I don't know. It just gets you thinking about like what would you do?
Yeah.
As a director.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know? The other kill that now that we've actually discussed this, I think I can figure out why it didn't land as much as its counterpart. Would be the second Texas Chainsaw homage. I don't know if it was an homage as much as it was just like a bad cut. So I'm going with the homage.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a more interesting way to think about it. there's a jump scare where the survivors are walking, and then the hillbillies come out of nowhere with the big drill, and the way at least it cuts and how fast it hits reminded me of the radio station scene in Texas Chainsaw 2, where Chop Top is talking, asking her if he can play all this, scratching his little metal head, and you see that dark alley in the middle, and then Leatherface comes out. It's one of the honestly one of the greatest jump scares of all time.
Yes.
I felt like that's what it reminded me of the most, and I think one of the reasons that you hit on is it's so well lit.
Yeah.
There's like Leatherface literally comes out from the darkness.
Yeah.
And then the light flashes, from his chainsaw hitting shit, and it's very scary. This is just like a very well lit scene, and it's set up intentionally as a jump scare.
Yes.
Like that is you cannot convince me that's not what they were going for. Like they were like, this is going to be a scene where they jump out and it scares the audience. And because of how well lit it is and how weirdly paced it is, it doesn't land at all.
Yeah, because I don't think they cut either. It's just like a weird shot from way back, like not even like a wide. It's just like a weird just angle, and they just come out like the guys just run out of like a room.
Yeah,
and everybody just like sees them and like turns and goes and that's like the shot. That's it.
And
they kind of run off, but they kind of jaunt.
Yeah, they do jaunt.
And then the hillbillies just kind of follow. I don't like nobody's like in the same sort of like. There's no immediacy whatsoever. It's just like. It's like you're being chased with a giant drill. You should hurry up.
You run it as fast as you can.
Yes.
I did see there was a TikToker talking about how like Wes Craven usually did a very good job at letting you know like what the location was, like the house in Scream, like your way around, like just by watching the movie you could go in there and you know where the kitchen's at, you know where the upstairs is at. In this movie it's very much like every different hallway, every hallway is a different hallway. Like it's just they all feel so different. There was one thing that if they end up making another wrong turn, but say like they actually add the mutant hillbillies in it, and they go back, and this one almost did it, the last one almost did it, and I don't think Last Resort really did, but for those two films there was a potential setup to have a Rio Bravo wrong turn, which I would be so game, because every wrong turn they get into a room, they're like, we're gonna hold the fort, we're gonna hold it, and that would be such a great movie.
Yeah, but 5 minutes later they leave.
Yeah, they take that time, like
this is the best idea we have. Let's leave. Wait, what?
Yeah, all we have to do is just wait out the storm.
Just stay here.
Oh well, let me just check to make sure they're not outside. Like they just like
Stab.
if there's ever an opportunity for them to split, they will take it. They will 100% put their money down.
They make up parts where they can split. They like making up things.
I
need to go this way for my what do you can get later.
It is pretty comical. Like I want to say it was like maybe a little bit frustrating. It wasn't. I think the first one was like, why are you going to do that? But they keep making the same decision so bad that it's almost like a punchline.
Yeah.
Like when they're ready to split up, you're like, well, of course you. Yeah.
You've almost made it. Might as well split up.
We wouldn't. What strength in numbers against these people? Like it just becomes comical every time they split up.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, okay, I know exactly what's going to happen. It's to the point where it's just you could time your watch to the split up to them getting murked by the hillbillies.
Yeah, like the Rio Bravo thing or the assault on Precinct 13. It's like nobody's going to fault you for ripping off assault on Precinct 13 or Rio Bravo.
No,
it's one of those things where it's like I feel like people don't want to do that because like it's too much of like no, you just need to lean into that and do it well, and like people don't care. Like it's all the same stories. Like no story's original anymore, so it's like don't like stop trying.
And how killer is that idea?
Yeah,
Rio Assault on Precinct, West Virginia.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I will see that movie because you have many opportunities for to have cool mutants again, to have cool kills, to have tons of setups, tons of suspense, and you don't have to give us these weird, insane asylums, these weird West Virginia wink hotels
yes.
or the more random backwoods stuff that we got in the remake. Like you can just do the one location, because the thing is these movies are already so low budget.
Yeah,
it's insane to me that none of them like. I mean, I get like they want to try to stretch a dollar, you know, but like you got $1 million. That's a one location movie. Like keep it in one place. Like when you shot Eating Cars, you shot it in one building.
Yeah.
You just set up. I mean, you set up multiple things, but like economically as a filmmaker, you figured it out. Like you stretched a dollar.
Yeah.
Wrong turn. Just lean in to steal Rio Bravo. The next filmmaker should do it. Whoever you are out there, just do Wrong Turn Rio Bravo, and I promise you, it's gonna be a breath of fresh air.
Or whatever it is you want to just rip off. Just rip it off.
Yeah, just rip it off.
Do Wrong Turn, man. It's like I was thinking about the Strangers is another good example of that type of, like a wrong turny type of Strangers. That would make more sense too if he did more like the Strangers, which is like a lot of just like skulking around and kind of like in the darkness, not a lot of talking.
Right.
It's just them trying to figure out. You got a lot of talking at the beginning. Once they come around, it's kind of like survival mode.
Right.
Which is what you need instead of just all this like nonsense to talk about.
Yeah, I think the saving grace for a lot of these that I'm starting to just pick up on is you know, for all the bad dialogue, for the weird cinematography, for the weird locations, for the goofy Looney Tunes stuff, they're gonna deliver to some level on the gore, on the kills. You know, the kills are creative. The gore doesn't look half bad. I think they at least get that right. And for a cheesy B movie, $1 million B movie, I think that's probably like the best thing at the buffet you're gonna get. You know what I mean? Like not everything's gonna be good, but like that's the prime cut.
Yeah.
So they're like, you know what? Well, at least give it to you there. I want to ask you. Last episode, we were talking about how these three films are the Wrong Turns a trilogy.
Yeah,
because it's the same.
The Lord of the Rings.
Yes, the Lord of the Rings. It's the Star Wars. We were saying that this film was going to be the Two Towers. It was going to be the Empire. Did it deliver?
No. That's more like Attack of the Clones,
right?
Style, like we said, or like the Highlander movies. If you ever seen any of those, it's like the Highlander 2 one.
How bad is that?
Highlander 2 is really bad. Like, it's like one of the worst things I've ever seen. So it's like The Quickening. And I think I went to see that movie like 3 or 4 times. For some odd reason.
So you're sure.
I was like, this is bad. Why do I keep going to it?
It's like you go for the fourth time of the credits roll. You're like, God damn it, why am I?
It's like,
how did I get here?
I just find myself there. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like, what is this? But yeah, it's not. Hopefully the guy's first Wrong Turn, which is the third one, will be something.
I think it'll be good. It definitely didn't. We did joke on our Insta stories, but you got to follow us on Hollow Weekly. If you're listening to the episode and you're not following us on social media, one, it's kind of weird. I always follow the people I listen to, right? Do you? I don't like not follow them. Well, I mean, it's not weird. It's fine. I don't want to shame. Okay, it's surprising. Yeah. It's surprising. So follow us there.
If you're on TikTok and like horror movies, you follow a lot of people.
Yeah,
as we do.
Yeah, you just gotta follow it.
Follow your people, man.
But on our Insta stories, we did say that because we got the snow, we got our Battle of Hoth. Like I always, whenever I think of snow, I usually think of either the snowy blizzard levels in Donkey Kong or the Battle of Hoth in the Empire. And we got it. We got our snow. So like he did deliver. There was what Two Towers thing would it have checked off for us? It hit Empire. Did it do anything Lord of the Rings 2 Towers-y?
I don't think so.
No. Oh wait, which movie is it? Is it the first or second one where they say meat's back on the menu? Is that the second? Wait, 1 in 3 chance. Okay, I'm gonna look up which movie is. If it's from the Two Towers, then technically we got because meat was back on the menu.
That might be
in terms of fondue.
There were potatoes involved, but I think that's the first one.
Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. Yeah.
Potatoes.
Oh, let me see. Let me just see. Meat.
We're getting yelled at by. It's been a while since I've seen the Lord of the Rings.
Meat's back on the menu. Which movie is?
We should probably talk about those final kills too.
Oh yeah, we gotta talk about that. Hold on, let me just see. Movie. Yeah. I think it's the Two Towers, man. Yeah, we did it. Oh my god, I'm so glad I took time out to look that up because I was pretty sure. So, did it live up to Empire in the Two Towers?
No.
It did, but it didn't.
Even Attack of the Clones doesn't live up to Attack of the Clones. You know?
It hit a couple things from the franchises that we needed. Okay, so we've already talked about as the franchise continued to get better. I don't think we think it did with this one.
No.
I think this one, I don't think it got worse. I think it just slammed the brakes.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I just think they forgot what a wrong turn was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you know what that phrase means. I feel like, and they kind of
Which is funny because this movie actually made the wrong turn.
They did make a wrong turn, but like, yeah, it's
that's why I can't say it's worse. That's why I think slammed the brakes. You know?
Yeah. I don't know.
Next question for you.
Yes.
Now that we've seen this one, we're now going into Wrong Turn 3, which I think should be pretty good. I think the title for that one is let's see here, Wrong Turn 3. I got it right here. Okay, this is Wrong Turn 3 Left 4 Dead.
Okay.
Do you think, let's make our prediction. I like our predictions going into this one, because this one I feel like we were kind of right, kind of wrong. This one is an anomaly for sure.
Yeah.
Wrong Turn 3 Left 4 Dead. Are we going to continue to get better? Because we know where we're going. We know what the mecha looks like. We know.
Should we see a synopsis? See.
Yeah, let me hook you up.
What's the synopsis?
Let me hook you up here. So, Wrong Turn 3 Left 4 Dead, 2009.
Man, they were cranking them out too.
Yeah, this was 2009.
Like
2010,
one after the other.
Yeah, they were
Dang.
right there. Hour and 32 minutes, so we know we're gonna. I think we got. You guys understand? We haven't discussed this, but I think we got a little jaded by the first one being 2 hours.
Yeah.
It just kept going on.
Wow.
I think at one point in time we paused it. We saw the runtime. We were like 2 hours.
Still got 20 minutes left.
Are we really doing this? Okay, 85% of users on Google liked it. So this is another short one. So this is a budget of $2 million. So this isn't too bad. A van loaded of prisoners are run off the road by a crazy cannibal and left to fight for survival in the trap in the woods full of traps.
That one has potential.
I like the idea of that a lot.
Yeah.
I like the idea of that a lot. I think because it's a little closer to the first one, I'm hoping that our mutants look how I remember them. If I even remember them correctly, I'm not sure at this point. It's all starting to blur together. Better or worse than this one? Do you think we're going to see improvements? Are you going to feel better leaving?
I think so.
Wrong Turn 3 Left 4 Dead?
I think Left 4 Dead's going to be good, yeah.
I agree.
Live prisoners, that sounds like a good. It's not going to be a bunch of just
random teens.
Yeah. Probably not any sex. But who knows?
Who knows? It's Wrong Turn.
Yeah.
I mean, we gotta. If this one, I wonder if this is gonna break the streak, because so far almost every Wrong Turn has opened up with a sex scene. This film we're reviewing now had the most sex scenes. Like I think again you can set your watch for a lot of things in this movie, and the sex scenes being one of them. You got about 22 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're gonna find yourself there. No, I think 3 is gonna be good. I think it's gonna be good. So. And you've seen 2. Am I wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember anything from 2?
I remember it being really good, really fun.
Oh, that's good.
It's got good cast too. It's got crazy cast.
Okay.
So it's kind of shocking that 3 probably doesn't have anybody.
Let's look at the cast. Let's look at the cast here. I'm excited here. So let's see. We got. Oh. No. Any of these guys look familiar? I think 3 is where they decided we're gonna save a buck or two. I wish.
Who the fuck are these people?
Yeah, that's where we're going with Wrong Turn 3.
Yeah.
Okay, but we feel good. We feel optimistic.
2 has Henry Rollins in it at least. So.
Yeah, and we all know the first one. We all know the first one. Okay, all right. Well, until next time. Let us know if I'm curious
if you've seen
this. If you've seen Wrong Turn 3 Left 4 Dead, and if go on iTunes, follow us there. Go on Spotify, follow us there. Leave us a couple reviews, and in the comments of one of them, let us know if you're a fan of Wrong Turn 3.
If you're like a Wrong Turn stan, like, are you like?
Yeah.
And where are we doing a disservice? Or not?
Yeah.
We're trying.
We could be missing something, and we are very open to like if there's something this franchise is about that we haven't hit on, like enlighten us. I'm open to that. I would love to like.
Is there like a comic book that fills in a bunch of info?
Exactly. Let us know in the comments. And until next time, stay scary. Watch a bunch of horror movies. We'll see you at Wrong Turn 3, Left 4 Dead. Hopefully they keep making wrong turns.
Yeah.
See you next time.
May I have your attention, please?
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
I don't know what real anymore.
Horror. Something even more terrible than you.